5 Fevers 1. Your breaking point is often the beginning of God's greatest work. There comes a moment in every person's life when the weight feels unbearable. You pray, you work, you wait, and yet nothing seems to change. You begin to wonder if your efforts matter. You question whether your dreams are too big, your faith too weak, or your future already decided. That is the moment many people choose to give up. But what if that moment is not the end? What if it is the very place where God begins to do his greatest work? Think about it. We often believe that God's blessings should arrive before the struggle becomes too difficult. We expect him to remove every obstacle before we feel exhausted. But throughout life, we see that growth rarely happens in comfort. The strongest people are not those who never faced hardship. They are the ones who refused to let hardship define them. God often allows us to reach the edge of our own strength so we can finally discover his strength. Your breaking point is not proof that you are failing. It is proof that you have been carrying a heavy load for a long time. It shows that you have kept going when others might have stopped. It reveals courage, not weakness. Sometimes God allows us to reach the end of ourselves because he wants us to stop relying only on our own ability and start trusting his plan more deeply. The greatest mistake you can make is believing that because you cannot see progress, nothing is happening. Seeds grow underground long before anyone sees a single leaf. Builders spend months laying foundations that no one applauds because they know the height of the building depends on the strength beneath it. In the same way, God is often building something inside you before he reveals something through you. Every disappointment is teaching patience. Every closed door is building wisdom. Every delay is developing character. The pain you are experiencing today may be preparing you for responsibilities you could never carry if success came too early. God is not simply trying to give you a blessing. He is preparing you to sustain it. The enemy wants you to believe that your breaking point is your finish line. God wants you to understand that it is your starting line. The moment you think everything is falling apart may actually be the moment everything is quietly falling into place. What feels like a setback could be the setup for a greater purpose than you ever imagined. So don't let one difficult season convince you that your story is over. Some of the most beautiful chapters begin after the darkest pages. The breakthrough you've been praying for may be closer than you realize. The answer may already be moving toward you. Even though you cannot yet see it, today choose to stand instead of surrender. Choose to pray instead of panic. Choose to believe instead of doubt. Because when you feel like you have nothing left to give, remember this: God's power has never depended on how strong you feel. His greatest work often begins exactly where your strength ends. So if you're standing at your breaking point today, don't mistake it for the end of your journey. It may be the place where God is just getting started. Matthew 52. Stop letting temporary pain convince you to quit. Pain has a powerful voice. It whispers that this struggle will never end. It tells you that the disappointment you're feeling today will become your permanent reality. It tries to convince you that because this season is difficult, your future must be hopeless. But pain is a terrible fortune teller. It speaks from your current emotions, not from God's eternal plan. Every person who has ever achieved something meaningful has faced moments when quitting seemed like the easiest option. They experienced rejection, failure, loneliness, uncertainty, and fear. There were nights filled with questions and mornings that felt heavy with doubt. Yet, what separated those who fulfilled their purpose from those who abandoned it was not the absence of pain. It was the decision not to let temporary pain make a permanent decision. The challenge is that pain narrows your vision. It makes you focus only on what you have lost instead of what you are becoming. When you're hurting, it's easy to believe that today's struggle defines tomorrow's outcome. But God sees beyond the chapter you're living. While you are focused on today's tears, He is already preparing tomorrow's testimony. Think about how often we want immediate relief. We ask God to remove every obstacle, erase every disappointment, and answer every prayer according to our timetable. Yet if every challenge disappeared the moment it became uncomfortable, we would never develop the patience, resilience, wisdom, and faith needed for the life God has prepared for us. Some lessons cannot be learned in comfort. Some strength can only be built by walking through difficulty with God by your side. Pain is temporary, but the person you become because of it can last a lifetime. Every challenge teaches you something valuable if you are willing to learn instead of surrender. Disappointment teaches perseverance. Waiting teaches patience. Failure teaches humility. Rejection teaches you not to build your identity on other people's opinions. And every obstacle reminds you that your strength alone is never enough. But God's strength always is. The enemy wants your pain to become your excuse. God wants your pain to become your preparation. The very experience that makes you want to quit today may become the story that inspires someone else tomorrow. One day, you'll look back and realize that the season you wanted to escape became the season that transformed your character. Remember, storms never last forever. No night continues without the sunrise. Winter always gives way to spring. The same God who carried you through every challenge you've already survived is still walking beside you today. If He has brought you this far, He has not abandoned you now, so don't confuse a difficult season with a defeated life. This chapter may be painful, but it is not permanent. Your emotions may be real, but they are not always reliable. Don't allow today's frustration to rob you of tomorrow's blessing. Keep praying even when you don't see immediate answers. Keep believing when circumstances try to shake your faith. Keep moving forward one faithful step at a time. When you feel like giving up, remind yourself that pain has an expiration date. But God's promises do not. The struggle you're facing today will pass. The tears you're crying today will not last forever. But if you remain faithful, the strength, wisdom, and purpose God is building inside you will remain for the rest of your life. So don't let temporary pain convince you to quit. Hold on a little longer. Trust a little deeper. Believe a little stronger. Because God is still working behind the scenes, and the story He is writing for your life is far greater than the pain you're experiencing today. 573. Faith means trusting even when you cannot see the next step. One of the hardest things you'll ever be asked to do is keep moving forward when you don't know where the road leads. We naturally want certainty. We want clear answers, guaranteed outcomes, and visible signs that everything will work out. We want to know exactly how our prayers will be answered and exactly when our breakthrough will arrive. But faith doesn't operate on certainty. It operates on trust. Anyone can believe when everything is going well. It's easy to have confidence when the doors are opening, opportunities are appearing, and life is moving exactly as planned. But real faith is revealed when nothing seems to make sense. It is choosing to believe that God is still leading you. Even when the path ahead is hidden by uncertainty, there will be seasons when it feels like you're walking through thick fog. You can't see the destination. You can't predict the outcome. You don't know why certain prayers remain unanswered or why certain opportunities disappeared. In those moments, fear will try to convince you to stop walking altogether. It will whisper that because you cannot see the next step. There is no point in taking the one in front of you. But here's the truth: God rarely reveals the entire journey at once. If He did, many of us would become overwhelmed by the distance or distracted by the destination. Instead, He often gives us just enough light for the next step. He invites us to trust Him one day at a time, one decision at a time, one prayer at a time. Think about a traveler walking through the darkness with a small lantern. That lantern may only illuminate a few feet ahead, but as long as the traveler keeps moving, more of the path becomes visible. The light doesn't reveal the entire journey. It reveals enough to keep going. That's how faith works. God doesn't always show you the whole picture because He wants you to learn to depend on His guidance rather than your own understanding. Many people delay their purpose because they are waiting for perfect clarity. They tell themselves, "I'll move when I know everything." But if you wait until every question is answered, you may never take the first step. Growth doesn't happen after certainty arrives. Growth happens because you choose obedience before certainty appears. Sometimes God closes one door without immediately opening another. That season can feel confusing and lonely. You begin to question whether you've made a mistake or whether God has forgotten about you. But often, those quiet moments are not signs of abandonment. They are invitations to deeper trust. God may be protecting you from something you cannot yet see, or preparing something far greater than what you expected. Faith also means refusing to measure God's presence by your emotions. There will be days when you feel inspired and full of hope. There will also be days when you feel discouraged, tired, and uncertain. Your feelings may rise and fall, but God's faithfulness does not. His promises are not based on your emotions. They are rooted in His unchanging character. Every great story of transformation begins with someone taking a step before they had all the answers. They chose courage over comfort. They chose trust over fear. They believed that even though they couldn't see the entire staircase, the next step was enough. So don't let uncertainty become an excuse for inaction. Don't allow fear to convince you that standing still is safer than trusting God. The greatest opportunities often lie on the other side of the steps that require the most faith. If you're in a season where the future feels unclear, remember this: you don't need to know everything that's coming tomorrow to remain faithful today. Your responsibility is not to control the outcome. It's to keep walking in obedience, even when the path is unfamiliar. Keep praying, even when the answers seem delayed. Keep working, even when the results are invisible. Keep believing, even when circumstances try to shake your confidence. Every faithful step is bringing you closer to the purpose God has prepared for your life. Because faith is not the absence of questions. Faith is the decision to trust God despite them. It is believing that even when you cannot see the next step, the one who created the path has never lost sight of where He is leading you. And if God is leading you, you can move forward with confidence, knowing that His plans are always greater than your fears and His timing is always better than your own. 1:4. Every delay is preparing you for a bigger purpose. One of the greatest frustrations in life is waiting. We live in a world that celebrates speed. We expect instant answers, instant success, instant opportunities, and instant results. When things don't happen according to our schedule, we often assume something has gone wrong. We begin asking, why is everyone else moving ahead while I seem to be standing still? Why is God taking so long? Have my prayers been forgotten? But what if the delay you're experiencing is not a denial? What if it is one of the greatest acts of God's wisdom and love? The truth is, God is never late. He is never confused about your situation. He has never lost track of your prayers, your tears, or the promises He has placed in your heart. While you are counting the days, God is shaping the years. While you are focused on the waiting, God is focused on preparing you for something that will require a stronger character, deeper faith, and greater wisdom. Many people think success is about reaching the destination as quickly as possible. But God is far more interested in the person you become than in the speed at which you arrive. If He gave you everything you wanted before you were ready, the blessing could become a burden. The opportunity you've been praying for may demand a level of maturity that you don't yet realize you need. Imagine constructing a skyscraper. No one complains that the foundation takes too long because everyone understands that the taller the building, the deeper the foundation must be. If you rush the foundation, the structure cannot survive the storms. In the same way, God often spends more time strengthening your foundation than you expect, because He knows the weight of the purpose He is preparing you to carry. Think about your own life. Some of your greatest lessons didn't come during seasons of comfort. They came during seasons of waiting. Waiting taught you patience when nothing seemed to be changing. Waiting taught you humility when you realized you couldn't control every outcome. Waiting taught you perseverance when every reason to quit seemed stronger than every reason to continue. Those lessons are not wasted. They are becoming part of the person God is shaping you to be. The danger of delay is that it can tempt you to compare your journey with someone else's. You see people reaching milestones before you. You watch others celebrate opportunities you've been praying for. Slowly, comparison begins to steal your peace. You start believing that because someone else's blessing arrived first, yours never will. But God has never measured your life against anyone else's timeline. Your assignment is unique. Your purpose is unique. Your preparation is unique. Someone else's season is not your standard. If a fruit is picked before it is ripe, it loses its potential. In the same way, God refuses to rush your purpose simply because the world tells you to hurry. Sometimes what feels like a delay is actually God's protection. There are opportunities you wanted that would have distracted you from something far greater. There are relationships you wished had worked out that might have pulled you away from your purpose. There are closed doors that once broke your heart but later protected your future. Looking back, you'll often realize that what seemed like rejection was actually redirection. God also uses waiting to deepen your relationship with Him. When everything comes easily, it's tempting to rely only on yourself. But in seasons of delay, you learn to pray with greater sincerity. You learn to trust beyond what you can see. You discover that God's presence is more valuable than immediate answers. The waiting season doesn't just change your circumstances, it transforms your heart. Don't waste your waiting by filling it with frustration and fear. Use it wisely. Grow your character, develop your discipline, learn new skills. Strengthen your faith, serve others with joy. Continue becoming the person your future is waiting for. Every day of preparation is an investment in the purpose God has planned for you. Remember, God's timing is never random. Every delay has meaning, even when you don't yet understand it. He sees the complete picture, while you can only see today's challenge. He knows exactly when the right opportunity, the right relationship, the right breakthrough, and the right season should arrive. So don't let the waiting convince you that nothing is happening. Beneath the surface, God is working in ways you cannot yet see. Every prayer is heard. Every act of faith matters. Every step of obedience is preparing you for what comes next. Keep believing, keep growing, keep trusting, because one day you'll look back on this season and realize that the delay you once questioned became the preparation you desperately needed. And when God's perfect timing finally meets His perfect purpose, you'll understand that He wasn't making you wait to punish you. He was preparing you for something far bigger than you could have imagined. Fun TV 5. Keep showing up. Your miracle may be closer than you think. One of the greatest tests of faith is not whether you can believe for a single day. It is whether you can keep believing when day after day passes without seeing the results you hoped for. It is easy to show up when life is exciting, when prayers are being answered quickly, and when everything seems to be falling into place. But the true measure of faith is revealed when you continue to show up even when nothing appears to be changing. There are seasons when your prayers seem to echo back in silence. You wake up each morning hoping that today will be different, only to face the same challenges again. You continue working hard, staying faithful, and doing the right thing. But the breakthrough you have been waiting for still hasn't arrived. In those moments, discouragement whispers, "What's the point? Maybe it's time to stop trying." But that is exactly when you must keep showing up. The greatest mistake many people make is quitting just before the answer arrives. They stop believing one step before the breakthrough. They abandon the journey moments before the door begins to open. They allow temporary disappointment to rob them of a permanent blessing. The truth is, you never know how close you are to the miracle you've been praying for. The breakthrough you cannot see today may already be unfolding behind the scenes. While you think nothing is happening, God may already be arranging people, opportunities, conversations, and circumstances that will change your life in ways you cannot yet imagine. Think about a farmer planting seeds. After placing the seeds into the ground, nothing appears to happen for days or even weeks. The field looks exactly the same. There is no visible evidence that life is growing beneath the soil. But the farmer doesn't dig up the seed every morning to check if it is working. He continues watering the ground because he trusts the process. He understands that unseen growth is still real growth. Your life works the same way. Just because you cannot see progress doesn't mean progress isn't happening. God often does his greatest work beneath the surface before anyone else can recognize it. He is strengthening your character, increasing your patience, building your resilience, and preparing your heart for the blessings that are coming. Sometimes we think the miracle is only the destination, but often the greatest miracle is who we become while waiting. The waiting season teaches us to trust instead of panic. It teaches us to worship instead of complain. It teaches us to rely on God's promises instead of our own understanding. Those qualities become treasures that remain long after the breakthrough arrives. Every day you choose hope over despair, you are growing stronger. Every prayer you continue to pray, even when you don't yet see the answer, is an act of faith. Every time you choose kindness despite disappointment, gratitude despite uncertainty, and obedience despite confusion, you are becoming the person God intended you to be. Don't underestimate the power of consistency. Great things rarely happen because of one dramatic moment. They happen because someone refused to stop showing up, one prayer at a time, one faithful decision at a time, one act of obedience at a time. Those small moments may seem insignificant, but God often uses ordinary faithfulness to accomplish extraordinary purposes. The enemy wants you to believe that your efforts are meaningless. God wants you to know that every faithful step matters. Every tear you've cried has been seen. Every silent prayer has been heard. Every sacrifice you've made has not gone unnoticed. Heaven is never indifferent to your faithfulness, even when the world fails to recognize it. Perhaps you're tired today. Perhaps you've prayed the same prayer for months or even years. Perhaps you've reached the point where you're wondering if your circumstances will ever change. If that's where you are, don't mistake God's silence for his absence. Just because you cannot hear him doesn't mean he has stopped working. The roots of the greatest trees grow quietly before their branches ever reach the sky. Keep showing up with faith. Keep showing up with hope. Keep showing up with gratitude. Keep showing up with courage. Continue doing the right thing when no one is watching. Continue believing when the evidence is limited. Continue trusting when the future feels uncertain. Because God's timing is perfect, even when it doesn't match your expectations. The answer you've been praying for could be one conversation away. The opportunity you've been waiting for could be one decision away. The healing you've longed for could be one season away. The breakthrough you've almost given up on could be far closer than you realize. So don't quit now. Don't stop believing now. Don't walk away from the purpose God has placed in your heart. Keep showing up with confidence, knowing that God is faithful to every promise he has made. When you feel like giving up, remember this powerful truth: miracles often arrive quietly, unexpectedly, and at the very moment people are most tempted to lose hope. Your next chapter may be closer than you think. Your breakthrough may be closer than you think. Your answered prayer may be closer than you think. So take one more step, say one more prayer, believe one more day. Because the God who brought you this far is still writing your story, and he has never abandoned a life that has been placed into his hands. Matthew 6. Choose hope today, because God has not finished your story. As we come to the end of this message, I want to leave you with one truth that has the power to change the way you face every challenge from this day forward. Never make a permanent decision based on a temporary season. No matter how difficult your life feels right now, no matter how many setbacks you've experienced, no matter how many times you've been disappointed, your story is not over because God has not finished writing it. Too many people allow one painful chapter to become the title of their entire life. They experience failure once and decide they are a failure forever. They face rejection and conclude they are unworthy. They walk through heartbreak and believe they will never experience joy again. They encounter delays and assume they have been forgotten by God. But one chapter is never the whole book. Every great story has moments of uncertainty. Every inspiring journey includes seasons of struggle. Every powerful testimony begins with someone who refused to let today's pain define tomorrow's possibilities. If you only judge your life by the chapter you're living today, you'll miss the incredible ending that God is still preparing. Hope is not pretending that life is easy. Hope is not ignoring your problems or denying your pain. Hope is choosing to believe that your present circumstances do not have the final word. Hope says, I may not understand what God is doing today, but I trust that He is still working. Hope says, I refuse to give fear more authority than faith. Hope says, even if I cannot see the way forward, I know the one who is leading me. There will always be voices trying to steal your hope. Some voices will come from the world around you. Some will come from people who have stopped believing in their own dreams. Some will even come from your own mind, reminding you of every mistake you've made and every disappointment you've experienced. Those voices will tell you to lower your expectations, stop believing, and settle for less than the life God has prepared for you. But don't listen to those voices. Listen instead to the quiet voice of faith that reminds you that God specializes in impossible situations. He has a way of opening doors no one else can open. He can create opportunities where none seem to exist. He can restore what appeared to be lost forever. He can transform your greatest pain into your greatest purpose. He can turn your deepest wounds into the very testimony that gives hope to someone else. The amazing thing about God is that He doesn't waste anything. He doesn't waste your tears. He doesn't waste your failures. He doesn't waste your waiting. He doesn't waste your brokenness. Every experience you've been through can become part of the masterpiece He is creating. The struggles that almost destroyed you may become the very foundation of the strength that carries you into your future. Think about everything you've already survived. There were moments you thought you would never recover from. There were days you believed you wouldn't make it through. Yet here you are. You kept going. You kept believing. You kept taking one step after another, even when your strength was limited. That wasn't an accident. That was God's grace carrying you through every storm. If He has been faithful before, He will be faithful again. Don't let disappointment make you forget the victories God has already brought into your life. Don't let today's uncertainty erase yesterday's evidence of His faithfulness. The same God who guided you through your darkest seasons has not changed. His love has not changed. His promises have not changed. His purpose for your life has not changed. So today, make a decision. Choose hope instead of despair. Choose faith instead of fear. Choose prayer instead of panic. Choose perseverance instead of quitting. Choose gratitude instead of bitterness. Choose to believe that your best days are not behind you. They are still ahead of you. Remember, the greatest miracles often happen after the longest waiting seasons. The brightest sunrise always follows the darkest night. The strongest trees grow through the fiercest storms, and the most inspiring stories belong to the people who refused to quit when life became difficult. Maybe you've been carrying disappointment for years. Maybe you've been praying for something that still hasn't happened. Maybe you're tired of waiting, tired of believing, and tired of hoping. If that's you, hear this today. Do not give up now, as you are closer than you realize. God is still opening doors you cannot yet see. He is still arranging opportunities you have not yet imagined. He is still healing wounds you thought would never recover. He is still strengthening you for a purpose that is greater than your current struggle. Your life is not defined by your worst day. Your future is not limited by your past mistakes. Your purpose is not cancelled because of your present difficulties. And your story is not over because God is still writing every chapter with wisdom, love, and perfect timing. So walk forward with confidence. Stand firm in your faith, hold tightly to hope, keep praying, keep growing, keep believing, keep showing up, because one day you will look back at this season and realize that what felt like the end was actually the beginning of the greatest chapter of your life. When you felt like giving up, God was just getting started, and because He is not finished with your story, your greatest testimony may still be waiting just beyond the horizon. Keep trusting Him, keep moving forward, and never forget this. If the author of your story never abandons the work He has begun, your next chapter is coming, and by God's grace, it will be greater than anything you've left behind. Before you leave today, I want you to remember one thing. The fact that you're still here means your purpose is still alive. The fact that you're still breathing means God is still working. You may not have all the answers. You may not understand every delay. You may not see every step ahead. But you don't have to know everything to trust the one who does. Don't allow one difficult season to convince you that your best days are behind you. Don't let fear steal the future that faith can build. Every challenge you've faced has been preparing you for the person you're becoming. Every tear you've cried has been seen. Every prayer you've whispered has been heard. Every step you've taken in faith has mattered, even when no one else noticed. So when life tells you to quit, choose to keep believing. When disappointment tells you it's over, choose to keep praying. When fear tells you nothing will ever change, choose to keep trusting. Because your breakthrough could be one prayer away, one opportunity away, one act of obedience away. God is working in ways you cannot yet see, and His plans for your life are greater than your present circumstances. Walk out of here today with courage. Walk out with faith. Walk out with hope. Refuse to let temporary struggles define your eternal purpose. Lift your head, strengthen your heart, and keep moving forward. Because the same God who carried you yesterday will lead you tomorrow. And one day, you'll look back on this season, not with regret, but with gratitude. You'll realize that the moment you thought everything was falling apart was actually the moment God was putting everything together. So don't give up. Don't lose hope. Don't stop believing. Because when you feel like giving up, God is just getting started. Thank you. God bless you. And may you leave today with unshakable faith, renewed hope, and the confidence that your greatest chapter is still ahead.